We had a pretty significant house fire in the fall, and it started in our garage, which is attached to the house, and was devastating to that part of the structure. The smoke came in through the entire dwelling and really put us in a tough spot where almost all of the interior walls were impacted. The garage certainly had to come to the ground. There was a room above the garage with a bathroom in it and living space that was also severely impacted. We're in a really tough spot, having never gone through this before or been in a situation to undertake a project so significant. So starting out, really had no idea where to go. A neighbor turned us on to Struck and said they had been in a similar situation, had similar anxiety, and felt overwhelmed, and we should reach out to Ben and Richard and bring them in and just consult with them and talk to them. And I think I speak for both of us saying that it was a very calming presence at that time, working and talking with people who'd been through this before and who had helped people recover from situations far worse than ours. Gave us some context about options we had and how the process would go, and really made us feel comfortable right from the beginning on what we could expect and what we could expect from insurance, and talked about a timeline, understanding this was at a time when there was a lot going on in the world, and we were in the middle of the pandemic and supply chain issues, and really set some realistic expectations up front. So we felt it was our best place to start was working with an architect to get plans. Struck was very flexible. I think the normal plan is that they would bring an architect in and we would work with them and iron it out, but they were flexible that we wanted to go that route. And when we had our plans finalized, that's when we got down to brass tacks and talked about pricing and what would be the timeline, and whether the plans were doable with what we were working with from a budget standpoint. And that process really went smoothly, made us feel comfortable, made us feel like we had a say and that our considerations and wants were being brought into account. So that initial process was really helped put us at ease. Keeping in mind at the time we have 4 children, and there was a lot going on outside of building the house back. I feel that both Ben and Richard did a great job taking over some of that burden and working on some things behind the scenes so we could focus on what was most important to us at the time.
Our house is over 100 years old, and so attention to detail and keeping a lot of the original architecture was really important to us. We have a stucco house, and I thought, how are we ever going to match the original stucco to what is going to be completely new construction? And it's gorgeous. Struck does so much of the work themselves, and they have wonderful people doing the work. We felt very comfortable in our house, but both their expertise, their craftsmanship, and knowing that they were alone in our house, always felt safe and confident in that. And then they also brought in other contractors like the stucco, like our kitchen, and we couldn't be happier with the end result.
Yeah, I'll second that on the craftsmanship. I was nervous because there are a lot of fine details. We also wanted to modernize quite a bit of the way the house looked, but meshing the old and the new and giving us a house back that can preserve that character, but also fit in with the neighborhood, and on the outside looked like it had always been that way. As you'll see through some of the photos and pictures, it'd be hard to pick out what was new and what was old. And having lived in it now for almost a year, we couldn't be happier with the changes that we made, with the attention to detail, with some of the old features that were made new, and some of the craftsmanship that was done to match the original molding and character of the house. So very happy. And I will say throughout the process, it's a huge project, and it is as overwhelming almost as it seemed up front. But when you have someone sitting on the same side of the table as you, and that was Struck and Sons, helping you through this and helping you overcome obstacles that popped up, you can imagine, from roof shingles to garage doors to slowdowns due to people getting sick. There's always some obstacles you have to work through, and it was a solution-oriented approach when we would get together and try to work through those things. Communication was good, and we felt like we were in the loop as part of a partnership. It wasn't hand over a check and hope things go well. There was a lot of communication, and when an obstacle arose, we were looped in, and that's really all we asked for. And it helped give us peace of mind while we were working on our lives and trying to move forward, that this project was coming to fruition for us.